apparently it
Gather round, take a seat, grab your favorite drink. Let's dive into the Word and find out what we think. From coffee to communion, there's so much to explore. Truth and grace together, who could ask for more? Drinks and doctrine, raising our cups, faith and wisdom filling us up. Pour a little coffee, pour a little wine, talking about the sacred and the divine. So join us every week, bring your favorite brew. Drinks and doctrine, this one's for you.
Okay, we're live. And cheers.
Hey there. Yeah.
I got my drink. All right, so this is our very first time doing this, so forgive us for being late. We had a guest issue. Just teasing, we love her. And we're bringing her in, and welcome to us, Ansley Guthrie.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So,
Welcome.
what's new in Ansleyville?
Not much. Getting ready for all the Christmas craziness.
Yes, you'll
But-
notice that I'm wearing my Christmas wine.
I know. I wasn't aware that this was a Christmas episode. I
Well,
could have worn my blue one.
we were
Christmas
close
season
enough.
episode.
Yeah, we were close enough that I thought, hey, I should wear something Christmassy each time until we get there.
I like it.
So today we got a few things on the docket, but I've already told you about one. Haven't told everybody else. But first, I thought maybe just possibly we could talk about the Mary from Netflix. And everybody says, yay!
Yay.
Yay! All right.
I mean,
Did it?
you know,
Am I the only one that had an eye roll when I saw that Netflix had a Mary?
yes. No, you're not the only one.
Not at
That's
all.
Probably half the issue.
I was, to say the least, skeptical.
I kept seeing all the comments that people were saying. They're like, yes, this is the Christmas content we need. And I don't know. I was a little scared.
So, have any of us seen it? I have not.
No.
Just
Not
the trailer for me.
Movie, just the trailer.
Yeah.
Is anybody planning on seeing it?
I almost feel like we
I
have
might
to see
watch it. Yeah, out of curiosity. Maybe.
I feel like I've got to at this point to give it a fair shot. And I think part of me is just frustrated because I'm so desperate at this point to have some content that I can watch that's not going to smack me in the face for being a Christian, not completely rip apart my theology and say, look, here's a better, more refined Christianity that we can stomach for you. Now, eat it and be happy. And I'm a little frustrated at the Christians that come out, and I plan on talking about this too, but the Christians that come out and say, no, anything Christian that comes out, you've got to go and support, because if we don't, we won't be able to have input and help get more content from them. So I thought we could have a look at the trailer. This might get us dinged. I have no idea, but let's see what happens. All right. So
All right.
Here we start. Any comments on this first opening scene?
The first line. I wasn't a huge fan of the first line.
we haven't even got past the first line.
I know.
Well,
I'm a little confused as to why is Joseph on the horse and Mary on the
right?
That's a good question.
on the ground? Like,
I mean, this is almost like she should be walking 10 steps behind him or something. He's going to ride the horse and the woman's going to carry the baby. in the
Yep.
background. I don't think that's
The
the
man
message
against the
here
horse.
they're really conveying, but anyways.
All right, so let's hear this now infamous first line.
I don't know why, but I was chosen for this.
Was it that one?
Yes, I don't know why. I'm like, it's the thing, like, the questioning for me, because, that's always one of the talking points. And I feel like in, sermons growing up, it's when you're asking why, that's really you questioning God's choices. So the whole, I don't know why. Now, that's probably me looking too much into it and being like, she should. Because if it were me, yeah, I'd be going, why me? Why did God choose me? Like, this is wild. Why me? But I don't know. I just felt like as the first line of this movie or the trailer, I wasn't thrilled.
I don't know, what you said just made me think of the difference between Abraham and Sarah. Like, Abraham laughs and Sarah laughs, and everybody's like, well, what's the difference? God's like okay with Abraham laughing, but he's not okay with Sarah laughing. And when you hear sermons about it, they always talk about the difference in how they're reacting, that the laughter is for different reasons. Like, Sarah's almost like that's not going to happen. And right. Abraham's like this is the most awesome, it's a different laugh. So maybe it's I don't know why I was chosen for this, more of there are, which is how I would react. There are a million people, a billion people, a trillion people better than me that could be chosen for something special, especially something this special. And to think that I might be the one would be like, other than you've just picked the worst of the worst so that you could say, yeah, she had nothing to do with it. I just picked the worst so that I would look better. But yeah, that's the only thing. I don't know why I was chosen for this. I don't recall her saying that in the Bible. I'm not willing to completely rule out that she said it, but I don't recall that. So do you have any comment before I hit go, Fred? Okay. No. Oh, not that one. Here we go.
Mary, your birth was a gift for your mother and I.
Your birth was a gift for your mother and I. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But were they barren? Do we know that? Were Mary's parents barren?
But, I'm like, okay, I can take that, because when I think of my children, I think of both of them as gifts. So they're all gifts. They're all gifts.
Fair.
It was a miracle. But in exchange, I made a promise.
It was a miracle, but in exchange, we made a promise.
Yeah. So
he does make it sound like she was barren, right?
Yeah, it's like Daddy said. It sounds like a bargain.
Yeah,
I should say
she was the first miraculous birth of this movie. Not, anyways.
Well, no, I mean, like, you've got in the Bible people having their wombs open often, but I don't know. Again, all right. So we're going to talk a little about what the people behind the scenes were saying about the movie. I'll make sure to bring that up, but I do want to state here clearly that I'm not a purist, and that it absolutely cannot present some details that are not in the Bible just to, I don't know, bring richness to the story on the screen, but not if it would in any way impact the story from the Bible, if that makes sense. And I would think that if Mary's coming in as a miraculous, my mom's womb was completely barren for a long time, and then God opened it, that would be a biblical fact, if that were true.
That's what I would think.
So why add it? Why not just say we're overjoyed, or I don't know.
You're a real treasure to us, anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, Fred, you are absolutely right. There was a bargain made with God. If you do this thing, I will do this thing. So what was the thing?
We have been waiting.
All right, that was clearly Anna, the prophetess. she doesn't come later. I mean, she doesn't come until later. I don't know exactly. Again, it's a trailer, so we're going to see everything chopped up. This may be later. It may be when she shows up with Joseph and Jesus to present him before God, because he is the first child that opened the womb. But in the Bible, I don't think she says it. I think it's Simeon. Just saying. So it feels a little bit like we've already got the girl power thing going on.
Yeah.
Like,
and my first reaction when seeing this trailer was, when did the Jews in Jerusalem get a Catholic school?
Right. Well, I was going to play a little bit more, but yeah, it turns out this is like a Catholic school in the temple.
Okay, for me, this gave me strong Handmaid's Tale vibes.
Handmaid's Tale, yeah, I could see that. I couldn't think of the title of that.
I mean, the cloaks, and I think, isn't there even a shot coming up where she's got like one of those hoods on too? Maybe that's just me imagining it, because
I'm sure that they had head coverings of some sort. Like you can see in the background, right here, she's got a head covering. But that,
like, I don't know if that was a cognizant choice, if they meant to make that correlation, but
no, it could have been budgetary. It is Netflix Studio that does that one, right?
I thought it was Hulu.
Yeah, I
they
don't
pulled
think
it from the
Netflix.
garment closet.
Oh yeah.
They do all seem to be in cahoots, though. But I will say that I don't know of a Hebrew school for women. So this is clearly a nunnery that happened before nunneries existed. And clearly they have, I don't know, put Mary here. This is part of the bargain that he said that he had to make with God, is we'll put her in the temple. Now, obviously there are stories where women who were barren went and begged God to have their womb open, and then because this was the firstborn son, they presented it to him, to the temple, and they became big name prophets and stuff, so boys, yeah, girls, I'm sorry, just sorry. Anyway,
Great Herod, the prophecy speaks of the coming Messiah.
Okay, that's got to be a wise man. But can I just say, Anthony Hopkins, I love it. I would, if this were a good movie and Anthony Hopkins were playing Herod, that would be a very good choice. I would be very pleased with that. Didn't he do Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yes. He was the
I haven't watched that movie in a while.
Yeah.
I could talk about evil. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a good choice.
He won an Academy Award for that.
What need have we of a Messiah?
Herod was a Jew. Pretty sure. He would know. I got to comment on. We'll come back to that.
Let it be understood. I am your king.
Why is she there? And really, really hate this compilation.
I was just
wondering. Why is she there? And I really hate this compilation.
I'm pretty sure she never met King Herod ever. Based on what I know of the timeline, like
this back and forth here. I just want to go. First of all, yes, I am your king. Absolutely, absolutely. He was all about him being kings, but. That back and forth from him saying, I am your king, him seeing her, saying the word child, and then going to the nail being driven into something.
That's going to be like 3 different scenes, 3 different cuts all mashed together because that doesn't make any sense.
Tell me that didn't all happen together in the movie that way, that they just pulled together like different scenes. And
I would think, but I never know. You never know.
One would hope.
You are far more powerful than words, child.
And this is where this is where they absolutely lost me. I was like,
Girl power.
Girl power.
You are powerful, child. You were chosen. Okay, yeah, she was chosen, but what? How does that make her powerful? She carries Jesus, who is the powerful. Yeah.
You are more powerful than words. So this is okay. I'm just guessing. Maybe okay. Let me Pollyanna for a moment and find something bright in this dark, dark darkness where we are. Perhaps, maybe, I don't know, just maybe. Somebody called her a harlot or a whore, and she knows she's got the Messiah in her, or the Savior, whatever they called him at that time, and she's saying, "You're more powerful than these words."
I could see that. I could
And
totally
maybe
see that being the reason why.
And it's because of God.
But it just seems that if these were scenes from her growing up in the nunnery before she goes back to Nazareth and meets Joseph and then gets the impregnated and message from the angel, that wouldn't have happened yet. Unless they're saying it's happened in the special place, and then she came home and then they announced, "Oh, by the way, you're engaged to be married," and she's like, "Oops." I don't know.
Well, that's true, because in the trailer timeline, we haven't seen the angel appear yet. So that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But she shouldn't have met Anna until after Jesus was born anyway. So the fact that she's in the nunnery when no nunnery exists and Anna the prophetess is there telling her she's a girl boss. I don't know.
I don't understand.
Typical white man sneaking peeks at the poor girl, being a stalker. Good golly.
It is your will that I should marry this perfect stranger.
I shouldn't marry a perfect stranger. If only I were born in 2024 when they didn't do this anymore. But no, I'm stuck in first century where this is the only way I can be protected and cared for. Oh, good golly. Whatever. Okay, that I think was Satan. I think that was Satan. No, it
wasn't that the angel that comes to talk to her? Oh,
he will, but I think there's this guy. No, I can't tell. Is that
can't be the angel?
That's got to be.
I think that's supposed to be the angel because he's wearing the black cloak in the next shot too.
Why would the angel be wearing a black cloak?
I have no clue. I just based on context.
Okay, but I get the angel. I mean that Satan is a fallen angel, but this to me screams Satan. He's got red light on his face and he's wearing a black cloak. If an angel came to me with a red light on his face wearing a black cloak, I would be seriously.
There are so many biblical descriptions of angels.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they're terrifying and they don't look anything remotely like a human being, but there are still so many descriptions. They could have done something extravagant and massive and just totally unearthly, and it would have been more accurate than this. Like, this is just
This is ridiculous.
It's creepy. The stalker's in her bedroom.
It is creepy.
It is super creepy.
It just looks like some random dude popping up, like she's sleeping, like, "Oh, hello. I see you're sleeping here. Let me come and introduce myself.
Let me impregnate you." This is not good. This is not a good look. All right.
You are to have a son.
But that's not possible.
No, that's not possible. She does say it's not possible, but that came off more like that's not possible.
All things are possible.
All things are possible. End of statement.
Yeah. With God.
No, he didn't say that. He said all things are possible. In the Bible, it does say with God, but he said all things are possible.
Because even though it's a movie about Mary and Jesus, we don't want to actually bring God into this.
No, good. Are you insane? Why would we talk about God? We're just, I don't know, going to give birth to God, but okay, sure. All right, so she's pregnant now.
You You've laid with a man.
No.
You've laid with a man. No. But then we get this. What is this?
It
Are we
looks like
beating
she's
her?
beaten.
Is that her? This is her, right? Right here?
I think that's supposed to be Mary.
So they're coming for you.
Yeah. So
No.
I don't,
That
is
didn't
this a
happen in the Bible.
dream? Is this her fears being
No.
fantasized out, or are they really,
No, because you
need
get
you.
this.
You'll be put to death.
You'll be put to death. Okay, so yes, an adulterous woman and her adultering man would be put to death, but you would have to have somebody file a charge against him. And what does it say in the Bible? It says that Joseph was going to put her away quietly. I don't know.
I'm gonna bring this child into the world with love.
I don't care what they say. I will love you as best as I can.
This Messiah, is he real? Has he been born? Where is he? Tell me!
There was an extra person in there. We'll come back to that.
Where is he?
Love would cost you dearly.
Yeah, hold that thought. I got something to say about that. Hold that thought.
It will pierce your heart. But in the end, love will save the world.
He will pierce your heart. This is biblical, actually. So it's out. We can go see it.
There you go.
Love
will
save the world.
Love will save the world.
Whose love? I don't know.
Alright.
Her love, his love, God's
So-
love.
Where do I start? Let's see. Wait, I want to share something specific. Meanwhile, y'all talk amongst yourself while I figure out where the flip it is. I have no idea where I put it. Okay, I'm not going to be able to find it now because let me just. Oh, it just got rid of it got rid of what I was doing. I didn't even know what to do with that, Fred.
Oh, outside of
Yeah, it got rid of my. Why won't it bring up my picture? I want my picture. I want to show my picture, and it's not a video file, and it's not a slide. It's a share screen, so I should share the screen. Oh, it's a window. See?
Yeah.
Learning on the fly. This sucks. All right, so here's that picture of Mary giving birth.
right.
I went.
Like a midwife.
Yeah.
that's what I said. Somebody else introduced into the story here.
Where'd they go and find a midwife, considering they were unable to get a room at the inn? I'm guessing this is Joseph, right?
That was my guess.
Has to be
And he's what, giving
It
her
looks like he's
something
holding
to
like a bit.
something to bite on. Yeah,
fight on this.
leather
And then
strop.
They found some woman, some random person. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Oops, that's me.
I mean,
Let's go
Joseph
backwards.
wasn't gonna.
Where's my pictures? Dadgummit. All right. That's pissing me off. Y'all don't need all that. That's not how that was supposed to work. Let's try that again. So yeah, that definitely looked like Joseph was there and some woman. And if we look at the biblical text, okay, so Hebrew culture is truly exceptional in its hospitality. It's one of the reasons why when somebody was hanging out at the fountain and it was starting to get dark, people were supposed to be like, hey, you want to come stay at our house? Because we don't want you to get raped or murdered, you know? So I'm a little confused as to why they have this random person in there. Is that something I should be worried about? Or are we okay with that?
So,
I
well, I
mean,
mean, the only. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think we're all probably very sure that there was nobody else there. My guess is that it truly is someone like a midwife or someone who came upon them while they were in the manger and she was starting to give birth, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this woman is going through birth right now." So I can't imagine, at least based on the rest of the trailer, that this is someone who becomes like a main character or someone they try and put into the rest of the story. So
Right.
I don't know. I don't. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem hugely significant.
No,
I
well,
don't
my
even know.
only thinking about that, sorry, was that in that day and time, just about any woman who had a baby would have more birthing experience than just about anybody in the modern culture outside of nurses and doctors. People gave birth naturally. They had midwives. They probably helped each other. I don't know. They gave birth by themselves. It seems like any woman who had children could be available. Hey, my wife's giving birth, or the innkeeper's wife, or something that could have come over and helped with the process, versus the
Okay.
husband, who those men probably wouldn't be involved in that process. But
I can
Well,
see
would they
him
have
being
even
outside.
like been in the room? Yeah,
That's
I feel like that's
yeah,
that's a traditional thing where the man usually like waits outside the room or outside the house, and then it's announced after she gives birth if it's a boy or a girl. Which, of course, in this case, we know it's a boy. But
because he
like,
would have been considered unclean or something like that. Or I mean, I don't know how it works with birth versus the other stuff, but I do wonder that
so
maybe
historically
it could have
wise,
happened.
would he have been in there?
I don't see. Okay, I could see a way that Joseph would be there, and that's if the innkeeper's wife wasn't there, or whoever that
Because Mary
woman
would obviously need someone be like,
Right.
"You're staying right here, bud."
was. But I won't be okay with it if it's like an angel or something. All right, I do want to talk
Yeah.
about this too.
Yeah, is she dying? What happened?
Right.
Like, what happens here?
This is, and again,
And
those
then-
colors show up again. So is this some priest from the temple? Is this the male side of the monastery side of the nunnery? They because the colors, anyways.
Is this after
This
she
has
was
got to be at the end,
lynched
right?
by the mob?
I think that's when they're searching for them, and maybe she was injured, hiding from Herod's soldiers at the end.
I am not even willing to speculate, but here's an interesting tidbit. I do know for a fact that they cast somebody to be Satan in this movie.
What?
Yes. It's in the
Interesting.
it's in the character list. So
maybe she's being carried
is
by
he
Satan.
I do know that in the
angel who
trailer,
told her
just
she was pregnant was Satan.
he looked more like Satan because of the lighting, but this guy looks more like Satan because he's carrying a dead woman. So, or maybe she's not dead. Maybe she's just passed out. I don't know. But this obviously she shouldn't be dead. She's alive at Jesus's crucifixion in the Bible. So if you killed her before that happened, and I don't think this is about Jesus's crucifixion.
No.
I know the Catholics want her to stay a virgin forever, but I don't know. That's not Joseph.
No.
Because in the next scene, you see Joseph, and I love that he's clean shaven. So he's not a good Orthodox Jew. But somewhere back here, after this scene, you'll see Joseph running around the corner here after them. So I don't know. I just that one weirded me out. I was like, we're really adding drama for drama's sake, I think. I don't know. I was not happy about that. It's not happy with Satan and Mary. So Catholic ties. There are deep Catholic ties. Now, I went down a serious rabbit hole on this just for funsies. So I'm interested in your input on this. First, I want to talk about Mary saying Simeon's quote there at the end, "He will pierce your heart." I can't remember the whole quote, but I just remember the "he will pierce your heart" part. That's what she was told. So I don't know if she's relaying that story to somebody else. But love will save us all. Well, that leads me to this. So in an article I found from the Christian Post, which I can bring up if you want me to, it revealed that DJ Caruso, who is the director, is also the practicing Catholic on set. I don't know if there's more, but they made a big deal out of the fact that he's a practicing Catholic. So here's the article. So anyway, he says it was essential to stay true to the biblical narrative. I was fortunate to have the guidance of a brilliant biblical scholar, the late Bishop David G. O'Connell, who served as my spiritual advisor and an expert on Mary. He said, and this guy, Bishop O'Connell, it's crazy what's happened to him and incredibly sad. He was a strong advocate. He was on both sides. He was a strong advocate for social justice, but he was also a strong advocate for pro-life causes and held like pro-life vigils outside of Planned Parenthoods. And he was shot down by his handyman about a year or more ago. So really sad story. But he is Catholic, obviously. He's Bishop O'Connell. And he held the belief that Mary was, from the first moment of her conception, preserved immune from all stain of original sin. Now that's straight from Catholic doctrine. So Mary had zero sin. She is the only human outside of the human and divine Jesus Christ who was born without original sin. So she was the first to be born without original sin, since she was born before Jesus. Just putting that out there. That's just one of their beliefs. But they said in this article down here somewhere that we carefully fictionalized the moments between Mary's journey, adding tension, emotion, and pacing. In short, we aimed to honor the scriptures.
So basically, in short, in my opinion, what they did was make a dramatic version of the events and add things that didn't happen simply so that they could have a dramatic movie.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and on the one, this is going to be a major part of what I'm asking. How much is too much? How much fictionalization? And you look at The Chosen and you look at this, and there's obviously deeply fictionalized stories involved in the surrounding text. And in fairness, there's not a lot in the Bible about the extra stuff going on in their lives. If it was, then the Bible would be even longer than it is. So how much is too much? When is it okay? When is it not okay?
I don't know. I feel like a large part of me wants to be word for word, because the whole, I don't know. I go back and forth because you want something that's going to be compelling and get people to watch and maybe think about Christianity and then maybe do some more research into Christianity and, start asking questions and things like that. But at the same time, I feel like when you start fictionalizing some of the stuff and adding the little enhancements and interpretations, then it starts to get a little muddled, and it's like, if someone starts to look into it and they read the Bible and they're like, oh, well, some of this stuff didn't happen. Like, that's not what I thought it was going to. I don't know. It feels misleading. So I'm like, I want it to be interesting so people will research and ask questions. But I also want it to be basically word for word so that nobody gets confused. Which is not always the most interesting sometimes.
Yeah, well, this is a debate we've had since The Chosen started airing because, I mean, overall, I think he does a pretty good job of showing, when Jesus speaks and when the apostles speak and something's from the scriptures, that they capture that, but they do fill in the stuff. You meet the families, you meet the kids or whatever, you meet they have some struggles they go through, or why was Peter so desperate to catch the fish? Well, they fictionalize some stuff, and they tied some kind of pre-existing relationship between Peter and Matthew as the tax collector. So is any of that in the Bible? I don't think so. And so they do fictionalize it, but they seem to make an effort. At least the first few seasons that I've seen. I don't know about the latter seasons. I think there's some more dramatization pieces that I might not agree with, but they did seem to try and stay true to what the Bible was conveying, what Jesus was there for, what the purpose of the chosen few were in the context of the show, without it just being pure drama. Oh, by the way, here's Jesus said this, or here's drama, and here's a Bible verse, there. It seems like from the Mary trailer, well, there's Mary, who's mentioned maybe 20 times in the Bible in 2 books or something like that. And all of a sudden you have an entire 2-hour movie or whatever about Mary and all the drama that happens. So it's got to all be drama. I don't know how you make a movie about Mary versus Jesus or the apostles without it being pure fiction, other than the angel meeting, having Jesus, and praying praying with the apostles after Jesus' ascension. So there's very little that you can draw on from that.
But we do have a lot of tidbits about her, and I think that we can draw a lot from her lineage, from her placement, from she's coming from Nazareth. What does that mean? Her lineage from David. What does that mean? Like, these are things they could have addressed, and they could have done it in a fictional way, but it would have addressed biblical points that would have explained why she was chosen by God, more than just making her super special girl. She's better than me or Ansley. Neither of us would have been chosen because we're not Mary. We weren't born without original sin. So, like, I don't know. I
think that's the point I'm making. I agree with you. That's really. Anyways, yeah.
I think that they could have done more. Okay, let me go back to the point that I've already said. I think you can fictionalize up to a point, but when you encroach on the biblical story, that's when it becomes an issue. So if you say that she came from a barren womb, this is very likely something that would have been included in Mary's story. If she were born without sin, this is very likely to be a very important detail they would have given in the biblical narrative. These are not things that the Holy Spirit would not have gone, hey guys, when you're writing this, don't mention that. We're just going to deduce it based on who Jesus was. I don't know enough about the Catholic religion. I mean, I'm fair game. I want to step back on this and say I'm not Catholic, and I've never been Catholic, so I can't really speak to this. I was just reading straight from their catechism, so to speak, on Mary, on the fact that she was born without the stain of original sin. Somehow she was immune from original sin, like it's some sort of disease or something, a virus that you catch in the womb. Maybe, I don't know. So that part really bothered me. The fact that she's in a convent bothered me. So I'm really put off by the things that I'm seeing in there, and the way that they're portraying Mary. And I don't know if that's just a Catholic thing or if that's a Hollywood thing. I don't know. So am I too... Ansley seemed to have a more dogged line there. Am I being too liberal in my, you can fictionalize it as long as it doesn't impact the story?
No, not at all. I mean, I agree. I think we're all kind of saying the same thing, but I agree with what both of y'all have said, because I do think, while yes, Mary is described in the Bible, we do see her lineage, we do see her story of her traveling to Nazareth and being visited by the angel and all of that. We do see all of that. So we get a fair amount, but outside of the birth of Jesus, the crucifixion, and praying with the apostles and the resurrection, I don't feel like we see a lot of... Yeah, that's true. The wedding, the turning the water to wine.
Yeah.
So we do have a few stories of Mary here and there, but it's not like, you get a story, oh, when Mary was a little girl, she was running down the street playing with her friends and enjoying her time with her mother and father. So
Right.
yeah, there's going to have to be a lot that you do fictionalize to create a movie, at least. Like, it would have to be more documentary style, I think, if you wanted to go historically accurate, only what we see from the Bible, biblically accurate kind of thing. And that's not as interesting. So it's not going to catch as many people for the audience.
Now, just to give what you said even more backbone to it, I cannot remember who this person is, but somebody who worked on it, I want to say a director, said, our hope is that people will want to learn more about faith from Mary's journey, what her family gave up and what she endured to follow her calling to bring us Jesus. This person's name is Mary Allo. I think that is quoted. I hope this makes Mary and Joseph relatable to people who want to know, learn, and discover more about them, and so many great stories. Learn about more, so many great stories in the Bible. So her point of view was that she was writing it so that she would draw people in. And I think that's the thing that makes people say, I hope that you'll keep supporting these Christian projects, because at the very least it gets people talking about it. And maybe then they'll read the Bible and get the Word of God themselves. And that's an interesting debate to have, because if they're being fed a lie about who Mary was to get them interested in going to read the truth about who Mary was it really helpful, I guess, is the question.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a debate that I guess we could have at another time. We don't have to beat a dead horse, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, one thing that you brought it up at the beginning, and we see it, we say it seems like every week we see something where we're talking about this, especially in period pieces where Netflix and all these modern studios seem really guilty of nothing can happen in the past that doesn't look like today. You can't have a culturally homogenous people doing culturally homogenous things with certain thousands of years of history leading up to why they do these things. You have to overlay, well, we're so enlightened today, and now those people have to be enlightened with these sort of people in the mix, with these sort of beliefs and attitudes. Like, I don't know when to marry, like you said, to marry a man that I don't know.
I've never met.
True love, that kind of thing. The Little Mermaid song at the bottom of the sea. When this is very common and very culturally accepted,
it's not going to be about the prince,
right? Are they going to go meet up at the Steak and Shake or whatever at the sock hop? No, they have you get respectable young ladies and respectable young men with respectable families making arrangements. And so sure, you must question if you're going to be put with somebody you've never met. That's human, but at the same time, they over dramatize, I think, some of these points that, she's doing her duty. She doesn't want to be unattached forever as a young lady in that culture.
I don't know if she's in the convent.
In the convent, maybe she can go back to the convent.
I'm really wondering how that happened. Like I think there was another story that I caught a glimpse of that said something about, Joseph goes to her dad and is like, hey, I want to marry her. And he's like, no, she's in a convent. I don't know. And then Joseph's like, no, seriously. And he's like, oh, okay. So that's the actual.
Seriously.
No, I mean it. Seriously, let's do this. Oh, okay. I don't know what the actual bargain was there, but if she was in a convent, I'm really wondering like how this little deal got made. So, all right, we've talked about specifically biblical story. What about non-biblical stories with biblical themes? How do we feel about movies that have like the idea of the Bible behind them, but they're actually just regular stories?
Are you talking like Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien?
Well, not even that good. I'm thinking more like
Kindred Brothers movies.
Yeah, well, okay. I was scared to
like Fireproof, Flywheel.
Yes, I was scared to finish this statement after saying not that good. I mean, but Fred finished it for me. So I'm sorry, Kindred Brothers. I love your movies. They're great.
Some of those are very moving. And very
Blindside is one of my favorite movies. Not Blindside. Sorry, Facing the Giants, another football movie. One of my favorite movies. So
I do love that one. Okay, so I've got another trailer for you, and you're going in blind on this one. I know.
Okay.
It's from Paramount. But we got a dyslexic boy.
Starring Jack Black. Oh, it does not have good votes from me.
Okay.
Sorry.
And it's called Dear Santa.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Here we go.
Every Christmas, something magical happens.
Dear Santa.
I didn't do that.
Every Christmas, something magical happens.
Dear Santa.
When a kid sends a letter to Santa. But Liam.
To Santa.
Is a crappy.
Oh! I think I have seen this trailer or like seen screenshots of it.
So the dyslexic kid, because it's now okay to make fun of dyslexia, thinks he's writing to Santa and instead invokes Satan.
Bella.
This looks like fun.
North Lope. Oh, I didn't even see that part.
Oh, that's putrid.
Thank you.
That's Satan.
Okay.
See how he's in red and in the dark?
I thought he was in black. Was he in red? And I'm just colorblind?
Well, I guess.
Well, the red lighting on the other one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You see the red lighting in the background here? I'm just granted it's Christmas, but he's got this red kind of hue around him, and I'm just saying is all that if the horns help. If the other guy had horns, I definitely would have called him Satan. What? Why does he have horns?
Well, I mean, what angel and description of anywhere in the Bible has horns?
Well, this is
wings, eyes, hands. I don't know.
This is Satan.
This is the Hollywood image of Satan.
Yeah.
Hollywood image of Satan.
What do you want?
You summoned me.
You summoned me with a letter.
Not what I expected.
What'd you expect?
In the movies, the reindeer usually have the antlers, not you.
See, that jacket definitely looks like it's got a red hue to
Okay,
it.
yep, I see some red in there now.
Kid, are you high?
I'm ready for this.
You lucked out big time. I'm way better than Santa. Ho, frick.
That rendition of Santa looks CGI.
Ho. You, my friend, are getting 3 wishes.
You mean like a genie?
They stole that from me. By the way, after you make your wishes, I'm taking your soul.
What?
You ain't never had a friend like me.
Is this okay? Just...
This is new to me.
I don't know.
I mean, we're talking about souls and Satan. When's the last time you saw that in popular culture?
All I know is
that I may have stolen from Aladdin. Now,
what?
I just watched a video recently. It was a clip together series of actors and actresses literally thanking Satan for their inspiration for their roles. Like it was, I mean, I think one of them was joking. It was Christian Bale, I think, was one of them, and the girl from Parks and Rec, the super somber one, who's the assistant.
I'm just going to say, but anyway. I'm going to pray that was a deep fake. But I don't.
I'm just saying, these are clips
but
of
I
people
wouldn't be
and they're
surprised.
thinking. Yeah, they're think speeches. I think they're doing it ironically, or they think they're doing it ironically because it's been claimed that Hollywood is like the hellhole where all of Satan's minions live.
I've heard,
but yes,
stories.
And then it was stitched with Chris Pratt's saying like, God is real, you are loved, learn about God. So it was,
or as
well, if this is their idea of Satan,
as we might understand it, Hollywood is actually the Hellmouth.
Yeah,
yes, Hellmouth, not Hellhole.
Somerville, Ohio, or wherever.
Yes, Springville. Springdale. When is Springdale? Oh, bless it. I'm sorry, Buffy.
Google search.
I love you, Buffy. All right.
Now we're even.
Let me show you a few of the things I could do for you.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so Satan is super helpful here. I love that.
Alone.
Leo!
Sunnydale.
Look, I'm worried Satan is going to trick me into getting my
It is
soul.
California though.
So
Sunnydale, California.
Sunnydale, California. Of course, because yes, that's
LA. I mean, that's LA. It's a suburb of LA. Hollywood. I mean.
As a matter of fact, in Angel, it's Cordelia goes to LA to become an actress.
Cordelia.
She goes by Cordy, and Cordy goes to become an actress in LA, and that's where Angel's hanging because that's the Hellmouth. So all right, so he's now, I don't know, has he already asked for a wish at this point, and that's why he's worried about he's going to have to give his soul to Satan? I don't know.
I think he's just confused.
We believe you.
Yo, down here! What are you waiting for? Go make a move!
Look, Satan's really on
So
your
are they
side.
I'm like, are they trying to show that Satan is friendly and like wants to be your friend and roots for you? And
he's cool, yeah.
He's awesome. He's your best friend. He'll do anything for you.
Sue me, I'm thirsty.
I tried everything. That kid's incorruptible.
What about doing something?
That kid's incorruptible. He's just an angel put in child form.
Kindness?
I don't even know what you just said. I mean, I know all the words, but I just never heard them in that order.
That's such an overdone joke.
You know this man?
I'm his uncle. Beat it.
Who do you think you are talking to me like that? Oh,
That doesn't sound right.
pardon me.
Potty humor never goes out of style.
Kombucha.
Watch this.
Lock.
No, please. No,
Okay, that's kind of funny.
but trust a thought. You just gambled and lost.
Nice to meet you. The pleasure was mine.
so are we hoping that the story arc is that Satan has a conscience by the end of the movie?
He's won over by the little child not being in God's presence at the beginning of creation. Anyways,
That's
Beth,
kind of what I'm getting.
Beth Stuckey said, "What is it about children and demonic ideologies and witchcraft that so many progressives in Hollywood seem to love?"
I mean, let's talk about drag shows, drag queens, where their makeup, they predominantly go demons. You've got the horns, you've got the makeup.
Well,
everywhere.
I mean, you look at how malleable and open children are. There's a reason why Jesus said, "Come to me like one of these."
Have the faith of a child.
It seems to me that this would be the absolute way. Now, would that be a funny adult movie, or is it just wholly inappropriate no matter who's watching it?
I'm kind of leaning on the side of inappropriate in general. Again, simply because it seems like they're trying to say that Satan is just an understood guy or a misunderstood guy and wants to be your friend and is super supportive, even though he's trying to corrupt you and steal your soul, whatever. So I would lean on the side of, no, I don't like it, even if it was an adult. Would it be funnier if it was an adult? Probably.
So, yeah. And I like the idea of making fun of Satan and having fun with that. But on the other hand, Jesus said multiple times in different ways, Satan is out there to devour you and chew you up and spit you out and keep you from heaven. I mean, he just talked, Satan is the roaring lion, and to make light of somebody and make him a little caricature with the horns and the pitchfork is one of the biggest disservices we ever did to the idea of the ultimate. When we do this every Sunday, we pray the Lord's Prayer. Well, one version has deliver us from evil, but Jesus prayed, deliver us from the evil one, from Satan. So if you're going to pray to God to deliver you, it's not from evil, it's from Satan, from the evil one. So it's not some, nebulous little thing out there. So movies like this, again, it's funny. I like to poke fun at Satan. He's trying to get you and he can't because he's just, a little bumbling idiot. It can laugh, it can be funny, but at the same time, it's planting this little seed that once again, Satan's just this little mythological figure and, like Santa Claus to some people. So why worry about him? Just be a good person. Be clever. You can outsmart the bad stuff out there. So I don't know. I got, it's like this 50-50 thing for me. I don't be too serious.
I get a very disturbing vibe, especially as Ansley already pointed out, Jack Black it's like a dead giveaway that this is not going to be a reverent movie. There's not going to be an end that says, yeah, Satan, just don't even go near him. It's all bad, no matter how good it looks, because there is a truth there that could be uncovered. You could explore it, right? Mm-hmm. This kid has inadvertently entered into a territory where he could make an agreement with Satan and be in some serious trouble, but it does look very, very tempting, right? So the message is possible that you could extract that from it, but I have zero hope. I don't know. I think I would stay away from that one too.
Yeah.
It's scary. So I
like to laugh, like goofy laugh stuff. I mean, wasn't there a show? Anyways, there's some movies they've done in a similar vein in the past. Jim Carrey, I'm sure, did some kind of goofy
Liar,
movie.
Liar or something. No, it was
Dear God, or I don't know, but
no, hang on, it'll come to me. Bruce Almighty. Woo!
Bruce Almighty.
Yeah, I don't.
Funny.
There's some stuff that can be funny, and I like to laugh. I mean, I make jokes all the time. Very punny person, but at the same time, I just feel like Hollywood thinks they're too clever. They come up with shticks, with gimmicks. I'm the gimmick guy, like Courtney says. They come up with the gimmick. Satan, Santa, Satan, a letter to Satan, and then they'll run with it and they'll make something supposedly cute and funny, but just totally stomping all over a potentially soul-ending subject. So,
yeah, nothing important here. It's just eternal damnation.
I mean, what's the point of Christmas? Santa Claus and Satan. Anyways.
And we used to have there was a movie with George Burns back in our day, like old God movie, where he comes and he asks for some random kid to help him with advertising because nobody talks to him anymore. And
oh God, wasn't that one?
Maybe I don't remember what it was called. No. I just remember the advertising slogan was "Thank God." This is
Mhm.
before we had the milk thing. So it's
He
thank
was
God.
the the stuttery, slow speaking, cigar smoking God.
Yeah, he was super, super cool God. So this kind of a book cover to that old timey movie we used to watch with George Burns. And I remember loving that movie as a kid. I was a total sucker for that kind of garbage when I was little because that's who God was to me. So I do think it's really dangerous since this is advertised for kids. But then we have faith-based movies like we were talking about, like Facing the Giants and all of the Kendrick Brothers movies, but we've had other ones as well. And I don't know how far is too far if you get into the God territory. I just wonder if it's best to just stay away from all things like that. Like having God portrayed, having the devil portrayed. You could talk about God and you could talk about the devil, but having them portrayed on film, I'm going to
I
get
think
the
that's a good
heebie-jeebies.
limit because I'm like, I am thinking about other God movies that I've seen. Like, I can't remember what it was called, but I saw one. I want to say it was like Letters to God or something. And the kid was actually writing letters to, and it was super cute. It was a super like inspiring movie. He inspired his mailman to start following God and was like this adorable kid who was, I think he was dying from cancer or something. But anyway, great movie. I really enjoyed it. But again, it didn't have like any depictions of God. It wasn't a, oh, here's God coming to save the day who does the miracle and cures my cancer. It was the message of inspiring other people. So I like that line of just stay away from the depictions of God and Satan.
Like just outright. That's a lot of words on that movie poster.
Yeah.
That's a lot of words.
God's got to be a fun guy.
He was very funny. That was a good one. That was a very good movie as far as I remember, just laughing. Was it good for me? Was it spiritually nutritious? No, it was like,
No.
eating Taco Bell. I don't think that was the most nutritious
Well,
thing.
it's unfortunately in this country, so much of what we do, like today, we're probably way more plugged in as far as you would call Christianity, religious stuff. Back in our, when we're younger, you're more like God adjacent, all this stuff. You love God, you're Christian, you believe in God, but you're not really pursuing God. You don't understand what God's purpose is for us, what his words are to us. And so that kind of stuff maybe is more funny. It is more entertaining. You are more open to that kind of thing. And then as you get older, hopefully, and wiser, and you start studying God's word and understanding so much of history and reading God's word, you're like, yes, I like frivolity. I like lightheartedness, but doing it at God's expense, doing it at Jesus's expense, doing it at our own expense in relation to God, it's like Ansley said, is a really dangerous precedent. And it's so where's that line drawn? I don't know. But I think that's kind of where we are. So.
Yeah, and keeping in mind, I was probably a ripe old age of 5 or 4 when I saw that movie. So
I think I laughed at the movie. Yeah.
And I became an atheist, so that was not a winning movie for me. I wouldn't go by what I said. Now I've got one more thing I really want to talk to y'all about.
Okay.
I know y'all are going to be super excited because I like to keep us on track. I like to keep us in the same vein. I've got other things we could talk about, but staying on track with Hollywood, I got an announcement, and Screen Rant has it for us. We are getting a new Chronicles of Narnia movie.
What?
She's the Snow Queen, right?
The Ice Queen.
Ice Queen in the original movie.
So this is Greta Gerwig's Chronicles. And you can see right here in the title, it's all about rock and roll, it says. So here we go. The Pascal is going to be the producer. Now, Greta Gerwig did Barbie, as you can see. She was also the producer on her Little Women. So if you know anything about that, and this one's going to adapt the Magician's Nephew instead of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Pascal teased that Gerwig's upcoming movie will be a very new take on Narnia. Not surprising. It's all about rock and roll. She has never seen anything like Gerwig and reminisced on when she barged into my office and said, Little Women has been done wrong. She hadn't even made Lady Bird yet. So this is also Lady Bird creator here. There's nobody like Greta. Dropping on down. It's a very new take, as she already said. As a beloved children's fantasy story about young people traveling to a magical world, which also serves as a Christian allegory, rock and roll is the last description that would normally be used to describe C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia books. You think? Like how rock and roll was it in the? Well, it's set in the period of World War II, right? How rock and roll was World War II. Pascal's remark teased that Gerwig's adaptation would go far beyond the traditional reboot. Given the feminist themes in previous movies, Gerwig directed Lady Bird, Little Women, and Barbie, her Chronicles of Narnia stories were expected to be more feminist than their source material, including giving Susan Pevensey, I never know how to say Pevensey, that's a British thing, a better ending. In America,
that alone pisses me off.
Pevensey. That's how we would say it in America. Pevensey. But Pevensey sounds very British.
The better ending for Susan Pevensey, that was a whole thing. That was I mean, I don't know how recently y'all read the Chronicles of Narnia books, but I actually recently listened to them all on audiobook, just because why the heck not? But the whole thing with Susan's ending was that she strayed from the family. So you had Edmund, Lucy, and the oldest brother, whose name I can't think of right now. But anyway, they would all still come together as a family and like celebrate Christmas. And the analogy was they were Christians. They were ready to go to heaven. They were exploring their Christianity and getting closer to Aslan and Aslan's land. But Susan strayed. And so they were sad for her. And so that, like, I'm sorry, is she going to give her a better ending that she's actually going to become a Christian? Because that doesn't sound like the kind of ending she's talking about here.
No, that would be a surprise.
She'll inherit the family fortune, and she'll be the matriarch at the head of the table when they come begging to her for to join her at Christmas.
By the way,
she's the only one who did it right in Gerwig's opinion.
Yeah, probably. And this is another Netflix one, by the way.
I'm shocked.
Just for talking about what you were just saying, Ansley, Lewis never planned to finish writing Susan's story himself. In a letter he wrote, I could not write that story myself. Not that I have no hope of Susan's ever getting back to Aslan's country, but because I have a feeling that the story of her journey would be longer and more like a grown-up novel than anything I wanted to write, or than I wanted to write. But I may be mistaken. Why not try it yourself? Now, I don't know who he wrote that to, but I find that fascinating that he himself did not want to finish her story, that he felt like that would be a very grown-up take on it. And he wasn't interested in showing that. So,
yeah, I mean, a guy who wrote The Problem of Pain, Mere Christianity, and all those others, this was a kids series trying to, he didn't want to get that deep. He was trying to keep it more entertaining with the allegories. So, yeah, I can see why you would want to dive into that too deeply.
Right? I don't know what to make of this new, I feel like you're right, Fred. I think it's far more likely that it's going to be a situation where Susan is the one that comes in and saves them from something. and it's thank goodness she wasn't there to get tied up in whatever Christianese that they were in, and then she's going to haul their butts out and be like, let's go girl boss our way through the streets. I've got to save you guys. I don't know. It's scary to me.
That's what I anticipate based on my knowledge of the rest of the movies that were listed by Greta Gerwig. That is now my expectation of these new Chronicles of Narnia adaptations.
And I'm scared. I'm so incredibly tired that I'll admit that I totally had an eye roll moment when I heard all three movies. The second I heard what they were, I rolled my eyes and went, here we go again. And I hate that. I hate that my first instinct is to question whether I even want to look and see what the movie's about, much less I need to mute your dad when he does that. Much less I gotta figure this out. Yeah, it's definitely your dad that I'm hearing that noise from. I don't know what that is, but I tried to get you to do something about it, but I can't be nonchalant anymore. I just have to be outright. You're annoying me. Shh. I have the power of the mute, darn it. Anyway, so yeah, I roll my eyes. I don't know if I even want to see them, and I don't think that that's fair to review a movie when you haven't seen it. So I haven't decided.
Well, I totally understand. It's just, but I think it goes back to the whole Hollywood is the source of everything evil. I mean,
the hellmouth.
You have actors and actresses, you have music videos where people are worshiping Satan. You have clotheslines who are worshiping Satan in their product promotions. I just mean every single thing that gets produced from Hollywood. I mean, it's New York too. It's not just LA. It's not just California, whatever. But
it's not just America.
Anybody, no. But anyone who is in the business of mass producing advertisements and movies and celebrities and popularity, that seems to be that it's like everyone sells their soul to Satan in order to become the successful actor or actress. And that's the only way it can happen. And so anything that comes out of Hollywood or Netflix or Hulu doesn't seem to be quite as bad, but definitely Netflix for sure. It's always the woke, all the things that are anti-Christianity and pro-Satan. So I'm totally with you. Anything that comes out of big movies or Netflix, I'm trying to think of some of the other streamings, like HBO Max, again, not quite as bad as Netflix. Disney, that one, they're starting to get, I will give them kudos for Inside Out 2 because they scaled back on their messaging and they got really good kudos for that. But
I've heard I need to see Inside Out 2, but I have not been to a movie in so long.
Me neither.
It's so frustrating to me. I wanted to go see Twisters. I still haven't seen Twisters. I want to go see the movie that came out from Angel Studios, Bonhoeffer. I think Bonhoeffer. I don't know. It's a German name.
I don't know that one.
I'm interested in seeing that because I am interested in his life, and I think Angel Studios would do it, even though it's a Mormon Studios. I think they would do it right. So I trust that one. I'm concerned, but I trust it more. I don't know what I'm hearing. I think somebody just got some mail. Lord help me. You can tell we're pros. We're super pros here. We're just super pros. All right. So on that table, I have something on the brain. On that same vein, I'd like to discuss the reopening of the Notre Dame. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the ceremony or what happened. I just know that it happened.
Yes, it did. And What interested in me is a couple of quotes I saw about it. And it's been restored. It can again be viewed as a symbol of, quote, the spirit of Paris. Another quote, a monument to the highest aspirations of artistic achievement that transcends religion and time. The cathedral that was built to honor God transcends religion and time.
I think I did hear that. And I had a moment where I was like, what?
Yeah.
Apparently almost the entire 60 minutes thing that they did on it didn't talk about it being a place of worship.
Of course not.
Like,
we're not
maybe
allowed
they
to talk about Christianity in any sort of capacity on anything that is nationally televised, but we can talk about any other religion and how great they are. Because
and it was I was watching this guy talking about, different museums, and you can see this is the Egypt wing, and this is the such and such wing, the Mesopotamia wing, and this is that, and you can see all these different cultures or religions that are put out there, but you'll never find, unless it's a Christian museum, like a Christian wing, a Christianity that shows like the history of that.
Because then
or even
that's a hate crime. You're excluding people if you talk about Christianity.
And I think it also has to do with the fact that it's relevant to what we're doing today, just in general. So even if you take it outside of the hate crime aspect, you just they don't want anything that's relevant that can actually be used for what we go through on a daily basis. And it's so frustrating the thing we talked about earlier today, Fred, of Pete Hegseth saying it's ridiculous that one of the most impactful and helpful things that we can do is read the Bible, and nobody's doing it. It changed his life, apparently. And that's like the third or fourth time in recent history that I've seen somebody go through that change where I decided to read the Bible, the whole thing, and it changed me. And it's weird. And it's like, it's almost like the power of God is in God's word.
I think they say that somewhere in the word. No, it's true, but it's I don't know. Satan has been pushing on this for centuries. The cultural whitewashing of Christianity in Western civilization and everything else. We've been fighting this fight for centuries, millennia. But all of the early scientific pioneers were Christian men, and the architects and the artists and the engineers and the inventors and the astronomers, they were Christian. And so,
okay, I'll take that, but I would put quotes around all, because there were Christian women involved, but there were some women involved too.
I'm sure,
but
I'm just saying
mostly
that
men, but mostly men.
You can't give credit. I think that a lot of what Satan has done is stand on God's creation and the beauty of what God has, and has turned it into something ugly. And that's what I think modern culture is good at. They don't create anything beautiful. They don't create anything new and interesting. They don't create anything that will stand the test of time. They just stomp on old stuff or stand on the shoulders of older things that were created by Christian people and say, well, hey, we live in a free society, forgetting that the society is created by Christian principles, Christian people, for Christian purposes. So I don't know. It's it is frustrating to see that everywhere you go. Chapels and architecture and art, it's beautiful. They don't know why it's beautiful. Well, it stirs the soul. Why does it stir the soul? Because it was created to honor God. But let's not talk about
that brings up a question, like how. So we have this beautiful cathedral that was built, and I've been seeing a lot on various social media, especially X, because that's kind of my favorite. social media sites where people talk about like, here's what we used to build and here's what we build today. And they're showing like things like the Notre Dame versus the thing that's in like an old Pizza Hut. Like, like somebody took over a Pizza Hut and turned it into a church. And I'm like, okay, first of all, there are some pretty giant, enormous churches that are still built, but it does seem like our churches today are built to be more simplistic. Mm-hmm. And the churches of old were built to be big, showy pieces. And on the one hand, I'm like, God is absolutely deserving of our very best, of our very, very best, as far as if we're going to build something to be a place of worship for him. But on the other hand, with Christianity, things have so shifted towards the Holy Spirit resides within us. Is it good for us to have these sites that become like 60 Minutes made this, the spirit of Paris and a testament to beauty and art and culture, rather than a place to worship the creator who made things so beautiful? That this is just a pale, example of what, reflection of what the creator did. Y'all are like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Well, so summarize that into one sentence question.
Do you think it's okay for us to have showy churches, or do you think we should go for the plainer, simpler churches that we're doing today?
I get the idea that we become a more thrifty, I guess, people. I mean, as we came over here in the Puritans and the whole work ethic and the American efficiency point of view, building a big edifice, or the point of building a big edifice, one requires that you have collected funds and have funding from either a ton of people or from a big organization that has money from a ton of people, like the old churches back in Europe. Or, you've got people who all agree that this is an important thing to do with our tithes and offerings, that we're going to raise and build this big edifice to God. And I think that's a hard sell in today's, culture of the last, 100 years, maybe 200 years. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I get it. I understand. I'd rather put my money, $1 million, towards helping the hurricane victims in New York, and all the churches are doing that, and they're sending people and sending
North
food and
Carolina.
blankets. Sorry, where did I say?
You said New York.
New York. They probably need it too. I don't know. Everybody's on the streets there. In North Carolina, I think that that's a better use of funds than a church. But on the other hand, art and beauty and praising God and expressing an awesomeness of God in architecture, there's nothing wrong with that either. But I don't know where we find that new, balance, where that line is drawn in today, where everything is kind of dollars and cents and practical and extravagant kind of stuff. So
I would like to see more of the beautiful churches and the making everything intentionally inside the church in order to glorify God. Unfortunately, I think those were more during a time when even the state was in support of Christianity. So you had like the states and the cities and the leaders trying to also build the churches because they were also praising God. Now, of course, it's up to the people and those who already attend the church. So it's still possible, but I think it was just, I don't want to say easier, but, more likely because you had more people backing it and a greater support. And so I wish we had more.
Yeah. With 20,000 denominations in America, how does a single denomination ever raise enough money to build a beautiful chapel these days?
I know. The amount of churches you see going down a single street, and all of them are a different type of church. It's just like, it's rough.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Well, it's good that you're still seeing churches, Ansley, where you live.
Yeah, true.
Oh, well, those were the major hit points that I had for today. I also, for funsies, just for a last little zinger, looked up the word of the year in various.
Oh no, I think I heard this on the radio.
So we have dictionary.com's word of the year is demure. Very classy, very demure. Oh, so demure. I'm so demure.
Very respectful, very demure.
Very respectful, very demure. Look at my outfit. It's very respectful, very demure. I'm not dissing on whoever the social media person is that did that. I'm sorry, I don't follow you.
I have no idea where that started. I just know that it was a social media thing. And then all of my little biddies in my dance classes, at every time, like, we're trying to get their attention and get them to quiet down. There have been a couple times where, like, okay, be respectful of everyone's time, and then they go, it's like a chorus, very respectful, very demure. It's just like, oh, okay.
Which starts a whole nother debate about social media. We should talk about that next time. The Cambridge Dictionary chose the word manifest. To use methods such as visualization and affirmation to help you imagine achieving something you want, and the belief that doing so will make it more likely to happen. Manifest. So not like manifest
destiny, but manifest your vision board.
Manifest.
I haven't heard that since the 80s. I think that was like remember those those self-help guys that were really big?
Oh, honey, the self-help thing is still out there. Oh my gosh. Goodness. Bless your heart. All right. An Oxford English Dictionary chose, and this one's probably the one you heard because I've heard it multiple times, brain rot. Which is so funny considering when you were just talking about the social media. The supposed deterioration of a person's mental or intellectual state, especially viewed as the result of overconsumption of material, now particularly online content. Say it right, Courtney. Considered to be trivial or unchallenging, also something characterized as likely to lead to such deterioration. So. Oh, the brain rot that happens from being oh so respectful, oh so demure while manifesting your vision board. Any thoughts? What should have been our word of the year?
What's your word of the year?
Koji bun.
Koji bun. That's it. Yeah, that was a new one to me.
Call me Koji.
I don't know if I have one.
You're living without thoughts of words. There are no words for Ansley.
No, there are plenty of words that go on in my brain. I'm just like, I can't think of ones that I know. I use frequently. I mean, it's so millennial of me, but the one that pops in my brain that I use the most, that I think probably was an actual word of the year a few years ago, like when we're in dance class and the teacher's like, how we feeling? How we doing? My response is always Gucci. So it's like not a very...
that is millennial.
So it's not a very meaty word. That's why I'm like, I was trying to think of something better.
Something intelligent. Gucci,
I'm like, I swear I read and I educate myself.
Tying back to movies, Gucci was a movie, right? Didn't they do a movie about Gucci?
Oh, I don't know. Possibly. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
I think if you look at the media and all of that, it would have been historic. The word historic, they throw around so much, especially in the political cycles. And then it's disappeared from
misinformation
conversation. Yeah.
Malinformation, misinformation,
disinformation.
But me personally, a word I was probably overusing this year, just because I find easy to use words. That's more recent. I think hysterical was what I've often used. And Courtney pointed out that maybe everything wasn't quite as funny as hysterical implied. And so I've tried to use other words to imply humor.
Was it hysterical?
No,
Was it
was
really?
just
Was it
kind of
hysterical?
funny.
It was just I
So-
didn't even laugh out loud. It wasn't quite hysterical. So shoo. That's a hard one. My word of the year would probably be unprecedented.
See, y'all have such better words than I do. I'm Gucci. There's got to be another word that I use frequently that I just can't think of.
I don't know. Gucci's fun. Gucci can be
It's
fun.
fun, but there's no bones to it. It's just Gucci.
Is Gucci good? Gucci's good, right?
Gucci's good. Yeah.
Not bad.
It's all Gucci.
I'll have to use that.
Okay. So that's all I have for us to discuss today. Any last thoughts before we end our little get together?
It's all Gucci.
It's all Gucci. I think some of the conversation was honestly hysterical, but
whoops. All right, we'll see you guys next time.
all right. Bye.